Hello, I'm Mark from Team 7, and this is our project Hallucinet. Here are the members. So we aim to solve the problem of collaborating with multiple computers, multiple containers across the internet using Docker. So some problems that we see when we do this is that we need to modify application configs because we cannot reuse the ports. We need to remember host to port to app mapping, and we need to set up VPN. Now there are some ways you can solve this. One is use ngrok, which is a way for you to essentially expose your port to the internet. But ngrok doesn't have integration with Docker. Tailscale is a VPN software. So you can install VPN in your container, but you need to modify your program and you need to manage routing and IP allocation yourself. So Hallucinet attempts to solve this problem by doing three things. One, it creates VPN connection between devices in the team. It monitors Docker containers in each device, and every device will have its own DNS server to resolve container name.device name.test. So here's our architecture. On the right, you can see the typical web app stack. We have the backend, the database, which we use AppWrite, the backend, front end, and browser. And on the left, we have the networking stack. So we have the coordination server to talk to the daemon, which is installed in every device, and the users will interact with the daemon using the CLI tool. Devices can connect to each other using WireGuard VPN, which was supposed to be peer-to-peer. But in our final architecture, we did not use peer-to-peer VPN, and instead we implemented centralized VPN. But we still use WireGuard. So even though our VPN is not peer-to-peer, but it's centralized now, we still achieve everything that we described in our proposal, which is to create VPN connection, to monitor Docker, and to have a DNS server to resolve that name. So time for the demonstration. I have here two virtual machines. One is called LabRat, another one is called LabHamster. So let's try to register first. So here's our Hallucinet landing page. You can click here to log in, or if you don't have an account, sign up. So let's sign up as LabHamster. LabRat, sorry. Okay, so now we get a verification link. So I can open my email. Which is here. And we can click this link. We can click this anywhere. I can use my phone and it will just verify our email. So if we go back and reload the page, we go to the onboarding page. So we can create a team or join a team. But since we are the only user right now, we can create a team. So create Capstone. And now we are in the dashboard. So let's do the same for the second device called LabHamster. But this time, instead of creating a team, we invite Lab Hamster into our existing team. And now if we refresh, we can see this invitation and we can accept or decline. This time we accept. And now we are on the same team. So let's install Hallucinet on both devices. We can just click add device and copy the script and then paste. The same for Lab Hamster. So copy and then paste. It asks us to restart our device. So let's do that on Lab Hamster first. I mean Lab Rat, sorry. And we do the same here. Okay, so now we can start a daemon. If we do this properly, it should be started as a system service. Let's start at startup, but we did not do that. So we can start it manually instead. And there it is. We start the daemon, it's waiting for a token. So we actually start the daemon this way. And we click this link, which is for the device registration, and you click confirm. You get redirected to your team. Here we have this new device, LabRat, and Hallucinet started, and you can see that we have this VPN. So we do the same on Lab Hamster. Now we have two devices in the team. And as you can see, LabRat detected this new device. So what we can do now is start a container on, let's say, Lab Hamster. Docker run. So we start a container in the Hallucinet network on Nginx. And Nginx is a web server. It will listen to port 30. I mean port 80. Okay. So here is our Lab Hamster container, which is on this IP. So we can actually dig our DNS server, which is in our CLI here. So we have that, and in Ubuntu you need to also change your system's DNS. So change this. Now we have changed our system's DNS. we can also access it from our browser. And there you go. We have successfully connected to the container running on LabHamster from LabRat using this name. And it doesn't have to be on port 80. For example, if I run another container here called Nikolaka Netshoot, and let's say here, and connect to some random port, let's say 1337. So again, like before, we need to set up our system's DNS. To point to the Hallucinet D DNS. And then restart. And now if we go to our dashboard, we can see that we have containers here. So this LabRat container is called this. And if I click, it will copy the DNS name. So the LabRat container and the LabHamster container. So let's go to LabRat on port 1337. And here is the Python HTTP server, and this is the test file that we have implemented, that we have just created. So we can directly connect to containers from another device on the browser on any port that we want. So this greatly simplifies development. Since we have some more time, we also decided to demonstrate other features that are extension features to Hallucinet. So we go back to our web administration interface. So here, the recent containers are containers that have started recently. So it's a quality of life feature, and they are actually real time. So if I stop this container, and you will see that the container here will disappear. Actually, I did not stop the container. Okay, now it stopped, and you see that it disappears. So if I run, let's say, another container, it appears again. So we have the real-time update for container information. And on devices, you can change the name, you can see the IP. This button is for adding new devices. In the team, you can see your team members. And if you are the admin, you can also remove the user from your team, which I'm not in LabHamster. But since I'm the admin in this team in LabRat, I can delete LabHamster from this team. And then we have the containers tab, which can give us more detailed information than what we have in the dashboard. For example, you can see all of these. And then the settings. or you can leave the team, or you can update the team name if you are the admin. We also have our account settings, where you can change your username and password, and you can also delete your account. So we go back to our presentation. So what are possible future improvements that we can do? Well, one is peer-to-peer VPN, which will be much better than centralized VPN because, we can more directly connect to other devices, so the latency will be lower. And also that it should work on other operating systems. Right now, it only works and tested on Ubuntu devices. And finally, it should start on boot. Right now, we did not implement the System D service, which will start Hallucinet D on boot, but in the future, it should be implemented. So that is all from us. Thank you.